take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hey there, I'm Butch Hartman, the creator of The Fairly Odd Parents, and right now I'm going to teach you how to draw Timmy. Okay, first thing you want to do is start off with his hair. Timmy's got a big pile of hair on his head. Come down on the side of his head here, and then do his ear over here. And all the Fairly Odd Parents characters have a little number 6 inside their ear. And now do the side of his face. Keep his face big and wide. Then you do his hat, his famous pink hat on the back of his head. Use the top of his hair to bring the hat down like that. Don't forget the floaty button. It kind of defies gravity. Now do his eyes. He's got really big, giant eyes. They take up almost his whole face. He's got these little rectangle eyebrow shapes up here. And his nose is round. Then his smile comes all the way back around the back of his ear. Now we're missing a very important element here, and those are his big, giant buck teeth. Don't forget those. Now his body's kind of just a little triangle, like that, with some feet on the bottom. And then don't forget his pants at his shoulder. Golf club shape for his hands. And that is how you draw Timmy.
Let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hi, I'm Brian Knitzko, co-creator of Avatar, and I'm going to show you how to draw Katara. So to draw Katara, I like to do the construction of the head. You want to find the center line, vertically and horizontally. Next, I like to find the eyes, and I usually start with the irises and the pupils. Since her head is turning away from us, you're going to see less of this eye and more of this eye. Then I find the front of the hairline, and that's going to wrap around the contour of the head, tucks right behind the ear. Find the nose, draw her mouth, and give her hair a little bit of thickness. And then right about above her pupils, I like to attach her braids. And I always think it looks cute if it covers up a little bit of the corner of her eye. And draw her neck, and then her braid. It has 8 bumps to it. Finishing touch, add the highlight in the eyes and the pupils, which always brings her to life. And that's how we draw a Katara.
Take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hi, I'm Eric Eldridge, a storyboard artist here on SpongeBob SquarePants. As a cartoonist, you want to think of yourself as an actor acting on the page. So don't be afraid to get emotional about your drawings. I've been on the show from like the beginning. I really enjoy it. I'm having a blast just because it's my sense of humor.
Now let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hi, my name is Seung-hyun Oh, and I'm supervising director for Avatar. And today I'm going to show you how to draw Pirate Barker O punching. First, we have Pirate Barker O in the start position. Then we show him winding up to punch. Next, we have the action, where he punches. And finally, we have the pose where he settles after the punch. And that is how you draw Pirate Barker punching.
Now, let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hey, I'm Butch Hartman, the creator of The Fairly Odd Parents, and I'm going to teach you how to draw Cosmo. You want to start off with letter C. Draw his hair on this side. Draw his ear, a little number 6 right there inside. Real big on his hair, because he keeps it nice and clean. 2 big circles for his eyes, because he's real expressive. Draw his eyes. It's a bunch of circles. Draw the little pupils in there. And then do his eyebrows, which are just basically 2 rectangles. And then draw his nose. Here's his mouth, because he's always talking. Takes up most of his face. Open his mouth up. Give him some teeth so he can eat. Add his tongue, and then draw his body, which is just a little triangle with feet on it. Pants. He's got a tie, because he dresses for work. Put his arms on there. He wears long sleeves. And then his fingers, only 4. Draw his wings. And the most important part about being a fairy godparent is his magic wand and his crown. And that is how you draw Cosmo.
Now, let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Here are my 3 favorite episodes of Avatar. My 3rd favorite episode is Chapter 12, The Storm, because it shows the lives of Aang and Zuko before Aang got trapped in the iceberg. My 2nd favorite episode is Chapter 13, The Blue Spirit, because it's got a lot of great action.
The Avatar has escaped!
And there's a really exciting twist at the end. And my all-time favorite episode of Avatar is Chapter 20, The Siege of the North. It's a great, big, epic finale to Season 1.
No, it's not over.
And there you have it.
Now, let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hi, I'm Eric Eldridge, a storyboard artist here on SpongeBob SquarePants, and I'm going to show you how to draw plankton. First, what you got to do is you basically draw a thumb shape, and then you add his eyeball where you would have your thumbnail, put in the pupil and the highlight, and then you got to have a little mean eyebrow because he's a bad guy. And of course, the frown. Just little stubs for arms. Just little legs. And then you put the antennas in. They're generally about the same length as his body. Then you just got to add these 4 little sensors here on both of these. And that's how you draw plankton.
Now let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hey there, I'm Butch Hartman, and if you like to draw, I can show you a little trick so you can make your drawings come to life. Check it out. What I've got here is a big package of sticky pads, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each page and do a different drawing on every page, and then I'm going to flip them one after the other, and you're going to see them magically move. So what I do is I take my first page, and I do the first drawing. I'm going to do something very simple, a little ball. So I have the ball coming into scene there on the very edge of the camera frame, and then I have the ball dropping into scene, but then it's going to squish when it hits the ground. See how it squishes there? And as it gets to the top of its arc, it kind of slows down a bit and goes back to its original ball shape. So I put the drawings a little closer together. Then as it falls, it's going to elongate again, and the drawings get a little farther apart because the ball's picking up speed. And it's going to go back toward the ground, and it's going to squish again on the ground. And it's going to just bounce right out of frame. And when it's all said and done, we basically have a bouncing ball.
Now let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Take me up.
That's kind of a lower key, huh? I mean, it's like...
You could even go higher.
Take me up with the crowd. Find me.
Yeah, that's too high. Yeah, I'm not sure what key the backing track is in, but...
For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes.
Maybe just yell, you're out.
Yeah, let's try
For
that.
it's 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out at the old ball game.
Now let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hi, my name is Mike DiMartino, and I'm co-creator of Avatar. And I'm going to show you how to draw Aang. To draw Aang's head, I start with a circle. I'm going to add the cheek and a rough outline of the ear. Then about halfway through the face, I draw a line for the eyes. I draw his neck and his shoulders, sketch in his clothes. And I switch to a darker pencil for the details, darken it in, and add the outline of the eye shape. And then we add Aang's pupil in his eyes, and little highlights, and his nose. Next area we'll work on is the mouth, and here we add the teeth. We show how they wrap around into the head. Add the ear detail, and we're going to add his eyebrows. And then the last thing is the arrow on his head. And there's Aang.
Now let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hey there, I'm Butch Hartman, the creator of Danny Phantom, and I'm going to teach you how to go ghost and draw Danny. Ready? Here we go. Let's start off drawing his head, a lot of angles, draw his chin, his hair way up here, and he's got a lot of hair on top of his head, you know, so it kind of hangs in his face. Make his expression really intense, because he's always looking for ghosts to fight, you know. And his nose is kind of pointy, his white collar there, and his body's almost like a cylinder. Draw his belt. And his arms are just kind of just tubes, you know, just straight tubes. He's still a kid, so he's not really muscular. His hands are kind of big and blocky. Unlike a lot of cartoon characters, Danny actually has 5 fingers. Add his logo onto his chest with a D and a P inside. And then Danny, since he's a ghost fighter and half ghost, doesn't really have legs sometimes. He actually has a ghost body, so draw that there. And that's how you draw Danny Phantom.
Let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
With SpongeBob, we start out real rough. We create a box. He's pretty much a square. His eyes go about right here, and they overlap a little bit. Right at this crosshair right here, I'm going to put his nose sticking out, and I'm going to put a little circle for the cheek. I'm going to bring it around and put his mouth in. His teeth basically are divided by this middle line right here. Then we put the little lip in. I'm going to put in the pupils, put on his tie, his shirt up here, and his pants down here, and we put in his belt loops. And we just start adding the details now. Sketch his socks on and the heels of his shoes. And what we do last is add those ridges, and we've got SpongeBob.
Now let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hi, I'm Clint Bond. Today I'm going to show you how to draw Gary. When I start Gary, I always start with the eyes first. To me, Gary's eyes look like two big ping pong balls. Put in the pupils. Make sure to get nice long stalks on him. Now Gary's body is very flat. He just crawls on the ground. He kind of slithers like a snake. Put your little wavy line underneath here. Gary's a mollusk. He needs a big home to live in. Every snail needs a big home. Add the shell detail. Now he's Gary. And never, ever forget to feed Gary.
Now let's take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hey there, I'm Butch Hartman. You know, every episode of Fairly Odd Parents starts out with a bunch of drawings called storyboards. What we do is draw the whole thing out, put it up on a wall. We want to make sure the story is as good as it can be before we start animating. Take a look.
Cut to like a nightclub. We pull out and Pappy and Timmy are in the nightclub. Desperados on the house! We then see Chip Skylark the first, and he points over to his band. We see the band is playing animals. Like the one guy pulls out a squirrel, plays like a bass. Drum.
Come on, Timmy, let's dance.
Who's got a smile like a wild boar? Whose teeth cut chain at the hardware store?
The girl who's rotten to the core, Ricky Vicky.
Boo-boo-pee-doo.
Take a look inside Nicktoons.
Hi, I'm Carlos Ramos, creator of the X's.
Hey there, I'm Butch Hartman, the creator of the Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom.
Hi, I'm Mike DiMartino, co-creator of Avatar. And if you're thinking about having your own cartoon someday, here are a few tips to help you get started.
Get a good idea. It could be about anything. I mean, think of whatever really interests you. If it's about an animal or a person or a plant.
Always be original. Don't try to take ideas from other people, but use your own ideas that you think are funny.
Develop your idea. Kind of draw the character a bunch. Get used to drawing the character. What is their favorite food? How tall are they?
Study the work of others. There are a lot of great animators, writers, and directors who you could learn a lot from.
Always keep drawing. You should always have a sketchbook with you just in case something comes into your head.
Funny things happen every day that you can use as inspiration for your own cartoons.